Des Moines offers many resources for people from other countries, and for that reason, many families decide to call Des Moines home. The Des Moines Public Schools English Language Learner, or ELL program student population continues to grow. We'll talk to ELL Coordinator Vinh Nguyen about the program next on Classroom Connections. Hi, and welcome to Classroom Connections, a public affairs discussion on issues important to students, teachers, and parents in the Des Moines Public Schools. I'm your host, Sarah Taylor. The DMPS ELL student population has grown by 90% in 10 years and is now serving 16% of the total DMPS student population. Here to talk with us about the program rewards and challenges is the district's ELL Coordinator, Vinh Nguyen. Thanks for joining me, Vinh.
Oh, thanks, Sarah, for having me here today.
Yes. So the ELL student population has grown nearly about doubled in 10 years or so. What has contributed to this growth, and how has the district dealt with it?
Indeed, you are right. The ELL population have grown considerably, very rapidly here in Des Moines School. Back in 2001, we have a little bit more than 2,000 students, but today we have more than 5,000, I would say almost 5,100 students. And it's due to many reasons. One is the immigration from Central America, many Spanish-speaking families coming from that area. Secondly, in Iowa, we have such a legacy in terms of refugee resettlement. So we received the very first resettlement here in Des Moines. And I believe, if not all, most of refugees resettle here in Des Moines School District. Third is the impact of the secondary migration from refugee population. Okay. As you know, when they first resettle in big city and the life there probably much more difficult than the life here in Des Moines area. So many families begin to move to the Des Moines area. Lastly is the U.S. born student who have grown up in a non-English speaking household. So for example, refugee families in a second generation, for example, these children were born in the States, but a grandma, grandpa, or older sibling were babysitting them. So they didn't really have any exposure to the English speaking environment. So.
Okay, so how many schools offer ELL services?
Well, we have been expanding the program. We have a total of 41 sites, 3 intensive English language centers, and a special program at Future Pathways. 5 high schools, all 5 high schools have an ELL program. We have 8 out of 10 middle school, and then 27 elementary school, and we also serve 1 parochial school. Here in Des Moines is very, very unique. We have established 3 intensive English language centers for students who have very little or no prior education before coming to us.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So how is their progress tracked?
The progress for English language learner, we have to go through many different steps. The very first thing is to see if they qualify for the program or not. So we go to all students coming to Des Moines, they have to fill out a home language survey document. If the home language survey indicates that there is another language speaking in the household, then give us a reason to assess the English language proficiency. So after the language proficiency, if they qualify for it, we ask parent permission to serve them. And they are tracked by mainly by the Iowa English Language Development Assessment. To measure the growth of their language proficiency annually. And also we track with the Iowa test, Iowa assessment, which is the ITBS or ITED. So when students qualify for those requirements, we begin to ask for teacher suggestions or recommendations to exit them out of the program. So, for example, when I say 5,100 students are being served in the program, we also have pretty good 1,000 or more out there have exited out of the program. But those students still need academic language support. So it's quite critical for us. Yeah.
Sure. So talk about some of the rewards or benefits of having this influx of ELL students in the district.
You know, whenever you have influx of any populations, there's a pro and con to it. One thing I look at this thing very positively. One of the things you have to recognize that the global situation that we have. Where can our Des Moines public school student get that firsthand to interact with that diverse culture and language background? Our students do not have to travel. They can really communicate with students from Burma, from Afghanistan, from Sudan, from remote countries. So it's a great benefit for our students and our staff. That's a real life experience that they may never have anywhere else. So that is very good for the Des Moines public school student.
Yeah, that's quite amazing. So what are some of the challenges then that the students face and the district also faces?
One thing I know our student populations is facing is the acculturation process, the integration into a new environment, especially the refugee population. Most of our children was born in refugee camp, so therefore they have very little or no experience with formal education. And when you was born and raised in refugee camp, you get no exposure for anything else. So when they are here in Des Moines, everything is new to them. From the environment, from the school system, from classroom and all those things. So it is a quite challenging situation for them to go through daily. Some of our students adapt quite nicely and very quickly. Some take time go through that acculturation process before they can really integrate themselves into the setting. Secondly, how to help parents to be part of the school system. Because many ELL parents, they come from different cultural settings. Many of them believe that school have the utmost authority to decide their children's education. So therefore, to ask them to participate in school activities or making or helping us shape some of the decisions is quite difficult for us to do so. But we are doing it. So.
Okay, well, great. And I don't think you mentioned how many languages are spoken in.
We actually couldn't count them all because we have so many dialects and different ethnic groups and so on. And the state does not have enough coding for us to use. I estimate we have roughly more than 100 language groups here in Des Moines school.
So what does the district have planned for the future for the ELL students?
Well, with the fast-growing populations, our program continue to train and retrain our ELL staff. Mm-hmm. We have converted the native language tutor position into a community outreach worker, so they have more time and firsthand interact with family and so on. There are a few things that I also believe that we are working on and should be working on is to make sure all staff in the Des Moines public school are aware of all the legal requirements of serving the English language learner and their family. I also think that we need to work on the professional development to help our teacher, help them with the instructional support or effort to provide services to all students. And lastly, to create an environment that welcomes diversity. And I think Des Moines Public Schools have done a great job so far of doing so.
Okay, well great. Thank you, Vinh, for joining me today and telling us about the ELL program.
So thank you for having me here with the Class Connection. Thank you, Sarah.
And thank you for joining us. Don't forget, this and all other Classroom Connections episodes are available on our website. For Classroom Connections, I'm Sarah Taylor. Thanks for watching.